Hey everyone, welcome to episode 25 of Tuesdays with Thadd, where I get to talk about my weekend in wrestling. Starting off with the standard of greatness, Noah. And he had just returned after being away for 2 whole years. I think Noah did a really good job in the ring, especially for being away for 2 years. He did absolutely phenomenal. And if he starts showing up to class consistently again, he'll be able to challenge the kids division champion, and maybe he'll become the new kids division champion. However, we'll have to see how he progresses again, but seems like he's going to be doing pretty well. Alright, now going on to my match this week, who I had faced Ash Eagle in a one-on-one match. And you remember how I was telling you last week that I had an idea to stop the low blows? Well, this wasn't it. I did part of it, and that was reversing the low blow. The rest, that'll be saved for another time because I didn't really get a chance to use my idea. However, I just hope I can start consistently reversing the low blows, because as you can see, that made a big difference in my match. If he would have landed that blow, he, without a doubt in my mind, would have won. And the ripcord lariat, I'm going to start using that on a consistent basis, especially after using it in a couple of my matches. I can really see how effective it is. So that will be really fun to use, but not very fun to take, though. Now going on to the Total Meltdown event, where there will be no escape. This was the very first event at the Silverton Casino that I've worked, and it was fun up until the ending. But we'll get to that later. One of the things I got to help with is setting up the steel cage. When I saw how big it was, my first thought was, if that was just 10 feet, I couldn't imagine what a 30-foot cage is like. I also got to be a part of Mondo Avion's entrance. It wasn't just me there either. There were 5 others, and we were all directing Mondo to the ring like an airplane. And we had to direct him slowly to make sure that he wouldn't run us all over. And that was probably my most fun experience there. Mainly because it was the most I've done for anyone's entrance, and it was my first time working a Silverton event. Talk about great first impressions. That one was definitely worthy of being talked about. There were many things that happened there. Not to mention the fact that the rope snapped in the main event. The second rope snapped specifically when Duke Lawrence stood on it. And at least it was in the main event, so no other matches were ahead of it. But that also goes to show how big and heavy of a guy Duke is. And me right now, I don't want anything to do with Duke. Not currently. And, something I forgot to mention that the pain in my back reminded me of. MK. He tossed me to the side just to grab the chair that I was sitting in. And I was put there as security to make sure nothing got out of hand again with MK and Duke. As if I was going to be able to stop someone like Duke. But I was just sitting there making sure everything was fine. I blink, and all of a sudden, I'm being grabbed and tossed by MK. I would have expected that from someone like Duke, not him. But don't worry, next time, it's going to be me tossing MK. I just have to wait a while for that time to happen. Anyway, No Escape is also available to watch on Title Match Network. So I recommend you guys go watch it because it is a fun one to watch. For now, that'll be it for this week's episode of Tuesdays with Thadd. Thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed watching, And don't forget to go grab your own Thaddeus Cole Raw Determination t-shirts and United We Stand, Divided You Fall t-shirts. Just go to www.prowrestlingtees.com/DcoteTees and grab your shirt today. Remember, with your support, we will not be divided.